JD, what's
What's
going on,
happening?
man? We had the NBA draft went down last night. We've had crazy trades. We've had owners selling teams. It's lit out there right now. What's going on with you, man?
It's hot in these streets out here, Chris. And shout out to Big Vic. He's number one.
Yeah, man. I didn't expect him to get emotional. Like, you've been knowing you're going to be number one for at least a year, right? Um,
Pretty
but
much.
maybe there was uncertainty in his mind, and yeah, that finally was like, here's the confirmation. Maybe he didn't let himself accept it until that moment.
Yeah, you got to hear Adam Silver,
What else do
and
you
with
think
the
about the
first
draft?
pick. Uh, Very
Hmm.
anticlimactic. I don't know a lot of these young men. I don't know who they are. I've never seen Scoot Henderson play. I've never seen the Thompson twins play from is it what is their league called again? I don't even know what it's called. The
Were they
junior
the
night
overtime or were they in the G League?
overtime
Which one?
or overtime elite guys.
Yeah.
The
And
overtime
shit.
elites. They is the biggest
And
pimping.
didn't overtime start as they started as like an Instagram account and now
Yeah,
they're making draft prospects.
yeah. I would love to know how much money
Good for them.
overtime gets from them making to the NBA because I know that they get a little. They're gonna get some kickback,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there might be some percentages on endorsements and whatnot.
some
You never know
residuals.
how those things are.
So, what
Some
do you think of the
residuals. Make money while
Blazers
you sleep.
keeping that pick?
So everybody said if they keep the pick, that means they're going to trade Dame. We can talk about Dame and trades and rumors and all that after we kind of put the draft talk to bed. But um, Dame is 32, about to be 33. You got Sharp, Simons, and now Henderson as a nice little three guard rotation of freaking athletes. Two of them can shoot. The other one can't, but he's got freakishly long arms and he looks like he plays angry, which I like. Um, but like you said, I don't know a whole lot about these young men. We see the highlights, which are deceiving. You see all the good things, and you can only read about the bad things unless you're literally watching all of their games. At first, I wanted the kid from Alabama, simply because he's the prototypical positionless, lanky, athletic
Three and D.
player that the 3 and D with skill. And he said he kind of got dragged a little bit because they asked him about the GOAT debate during his pre-draft stuff, and he said it's not MJ, it's not LeBron, it's not Kobe, it's Paul George, and he got dragged a little bit for that because he should. Who says Paul George is the GOAT? That makes Paul George feel awful and embarrassed probably, but that tells me that that's the style of game he plays, and that's something that we haven't had in a long time. A long, lanky wing player who has some handle and can shoot. I honestly can't, without doing any research, Travis Outlaw is the last one I can think of. Like, Brandon Roy was big, but he wasn't that long, lanky, tough to guard,
Yeah,
athletic dude. He was more cerebral. Um, so I really wanted him, especially when I heard Scoot Henderson can't shoot. So I'm not super thrilled. I don't think that they're going to move Dame, but what's your take on the Henderson Brandon Miller? It seemed like it was either those two, and then you fell off a ledge, and then they had the twins, and then Grady Dick and whoever else was left at that point.
I think the Blazers made improvements on their team. I think they're at a crossroads. They're at the purgatory. You're not. They got lucky and got the third pick. I think as they say, if you get a draft lottery pick this high, you have to strike gold. And let's hope that Mr. Henderson is come and he's going to bring his A game with that fake ass grill and that ugly suit he wore. I'm not for those shenanigans. You know, I'm from the era come like
Hey,
like a job interview, and I think it's trash. But as
bro,
far as his game, I think he's got some dog in him, Chris, like you. He's that guy out there. He's going to try to outwork you. And I think that the Blazers might have got lucky with Mr. Murray out of Iowa. I think he's a left-handed. He reminds me. It looks like how he shoots, like a
Hella
Joe
lucky.
Ingles. The Blazers need shooting. And he's a lefty. So I think that is a
Mm-hmm.
player that hopefully can get into the rotation and actually do something, because the Blazers have not hit on these last couple drafts on any players in my mind. I mean, Simons is still working. We'll see what they say about Shaden Sharp, but you're still back at the same thing you had when you had CJ McCollum, Chris. You got two guards.
That's it.
And
Well, and two undersized guards too, and
and it is what it is.
that's why I wasn't really one of the reasons I wasn't big on Scoot Henderson. But that being said, everyone kept pounding away when the Blazers pick was up. Analysts were saying the Blazers need to get better defenders. They're third worst defensive team in the league last year. And what I like is all three of the dudes they drafted are defensive minded. So Scoot Henderson just plays with a lot of heart, and people like that, they're always going to play defense, and his athleticism is going to make him a factor. The Murray kid, from what I see, from what I hear,
20,
from what I read,
20
he's a
points a
good
game, an
defender.
All-American. Yeah, his brother.
Yeah,
I
but he
mean,
had to wait for he had to wait for his brother to go to the league to get out from under his shadow. So I don't know. Maybe hopefully he's a later bloomer and is he a three? I mean, his brother plays four, undersized four. It's positionless basketball. But the kid they got from France, I like his length. He reminds me of a little bit of Thibault, where he's a lanky dude, 3-and-D, not gonna demand the ball much, hit a
as
corner
a point
three,
guard.
have some athletic breaks. Yeah, so we got three perimeter defenders,
And that's what
and I'm happy
Billups
with
was
that.
lacking last year. We thought that him coming
Well,
in, he
Billups
was
is
a defensive
lacking the
coach.
ability to coach.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that as a player, Billups was a solid defender. We know Dame is who he is. You
Yeah.
know, he gonna bust your ass on one end, and you gonna have to bust his ass too. But I think that getting some players, because defense is a mentality. You can learn how to score the ball, but if you don't want to play defense, you'll be out of the league in 2 seasons. I can't remember that light skinned kid that the Blazers drafted from
Yeah.
Washington State, but he's out of the league now. Where's he at? That kid's gone. I don't even remember his name. He had the long hair. He played 2 seasons, 3 seasons on the Blazers bench, and he's gone now because he couldn't do anything. Couldn't shoot and couldn't play defense. So how would you give
From
the
Washington
Blazers?
State.
Yeah. How would you grade the Blazers draft though? Let's give it a grade.
You know, A minus. I've seen a lot of people rate them that, and even without looking at those, I would say A minus. You didn't get the A because it's you may get an A or an A plus later on to see how everything shakes out. But I don't give them an A because I felt like you could have done something with that pick. Um,
I give them a
Maybe they're
B
keeping their options open.
because you didn't
You
have to
give them a
really
B.
pick anybody. You didn't have to pick anybody because the pick was there for you.
But the first two, for sure. The Murray kid, it was best available by far. I think he was still in the green room. Um,
Yeah.
but two other things I want to bring up on the draft. One, who knew Arkansas had such a dope backcourt? Both of their guards got drafted in the first round last night.
Yeah.
Um,
Anthony
uh,
Black, he looks like a solid. That kid can play some defense. I watched him
yeah,
during the
yeah.
NCAA
I don't like his
tournament,
hair too
and
much.
yeah, I couldn't stand the kids that couldn't put your hat on, get your hair braided, look presentable, and put the cap on and shake the commissioner's hand and take a picture with him. But Anthony Black for
And then
Arkansas, he can play some D.
And then you got Nick Smith Jr., who I didn't know all this. I like to watch the draft to get reacquainted with players too. I didn't know that he was like a number two, three high school prospect coming into to college, and things didn't pan out. So he's used to being the man and had to kind of take his lumps. And when he got drafted, this dude was so emotional, and he took so much time to walk up to the podium. I think he took the whole 5 minutes, and the next pick was ready. But
So I got a
it's things
question
like
for
that.
you
It's
though.
it's good to see.
What do you think
Hmm.
Orlando's doing though? Because you take another guard. They just drafted Jalen Suggs. You got Anthony. Oh my God,
Cole,
Anthony
you got
Cole.
Cole Anthony,
Cole Anthony.
Cole
You got
Anthony,
Mark. You got Markel
Greg's son.
Fultz. What are they
Hmm.
doing drafting? I get it. Maybe it's the best
I mean,
available, but
look at all their bigs. They
Pablo
got a ton of
Banchero's the
bigs
real
too.
deal.
They got
Wagner,
okay, I hadn't seen them. They
Franz
got but no,
Wagner.
but they have Wendell Carter Jr. and Wendell Carter Jr. and then they have the kid from Florida State, Isaac. Like they have so many lanky bigs that were lottery picks. I think like I mean it's you're gonna pick a guard or a big. You already have a lot of both. Um,
I
it's just
just
like
Cole
who's gonna
Anthony,
really
his game, I don't like
rise.
it. I don't like Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. I feel sorry. He should have just came back to college and been the player of the year because
He should have played football. Nah, he should have played football.
something.
Wasn't he the
I,
Minnesota State football player of the year?
yeah, and they, him and Chet, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Chet because now we're gonna have two tall
OKC is going to
men.
be tough.
We're gonna have two of these guys because Chet was Victor last year, but he didn't play last year. So we'll see what Chet does
I
because
mean,
Chet and Shea,
He was Victor Junior.
so we'll see. Like you said, I like to get reacquainted. I watched the whole draft. The JJ Redick and Billis, those guys did a great job. And the fashion though, Chris, the fashion.
Yo, that's the other thing I was going to say. Okay, there's comments to be made, but the thing that really I couldn't hold back from saying, bro, what are you doing? Is the kid from UCLA, the left-handed number 5,
Bailey.
um, was drafted late second round. Bailey was
Yeah.
drafted late second round.
Yeah,
Not
his
only did he pay for he wasn't invited to the green room. He didn't get invited to the green room, so he didn't. He had to pay his way to be there. He had fucking sunglasses on when they called his name. His whole family's dressed up like they're going to the Met Gala, and he had no shirt on underneath his jacket. And it's like, dog, you were drafted like 58th or 51st or something like that. You left college
41st
too
by
early.
Charlotte.
Clearly, you didn't get invited to the green room. Dress for your job. Like what are you doing? You're like, I think you get a pass to dress like an idiot if you're invited to the green room. If you're sitting in the stands with fans, you have to dress a little bit more pedestrian. I'm sorry, that is something I will die on that hill.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see, when he got drafted, but he I saw the picture and I go, his chain had multiple colors on it, and I'm just like,
Oh
oh,
boy.
that's how we're introducing ourselves to the world. And
As a, with a non-guaranteed contract, no second round contract is guaranteed. So, bro, you just spent
I
your whole
like Big
paycheck
Vic's
on a.
suit. I like Big Vic's suit. Big Vic, with the wraparound, that was
I didn't like.
classic. It looked nice.
I don't know why you wear green when you know the team that's drafting you. That's my
It
thing. Like,
it
why are you
was green.
wearing
I thought it was
green?
black. It was a green suit. I thought it
No,
was
that was
black.
green, dog. Yeah, you look like a skinny Christmas tree.
How about
But let's
Bo
okay.
Bull's suit from a couple years ago?
I didn't know
Bo
what he had
Bull's
on.
suit. He had like some spider web joint, but yeah, that
Oh yeah, I remember that.
let's just say one shout out to Mr. Dick and that ugly shoulder pad red jacket that he wore. Shout out to his his
They said it was a
heritage
shout
for
out to Wizard of Oz or something like
yeah,
that.
Dorothy. He's from Kansas, but he's really far from Kansas.
His Dorothy suit.
So
That's true. We're not in
let's
Kansas
move
anymore. I
on
like the
to
wordplay, but it could have been more subtle.
Well, Chris, with all that draft talk being said, let's get into these trades, the GMs, the owners. Everybody's been on their phone. They've been Woj. Woj has been dropping some bombs here, Chris. And the first bomb that Woj dropped, I, I'll say this is a bomb to me, but is the Celtics trade of Porzingis, Marcus Smart, and Trey Jones. And the reason why I think that is a big trade is because you're getting rid of the heart and soul of a team that the Celtics have known. Marcus Smart is the defensive stopper, defensive player of the year 2 years ago. And my question to the front office in Boston is offense wasn't your problem. And now you just got rid of your best defensive player. And Joe Mazzulla, he coached out of his ass. He's 36 years old. He's younger than us. Jimmy Butler played college basketball against Joe Mazzulla at West Virginia while he was at Marquette. And he is the head coach leading a great roster. Now, the first trade that they tried to do was to the Clippers. Malcolm Brogdon, but they had to get this trade going because Porzingis had an out clause where he had to opt into his contract, and they had a deadline. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this trade actually helps Memphis bring in a veteran to maybe help Mr. Ja Warrant, who is suspended 25 games, and Marcus Smart put some game in his ear and say, hey, young fella, this is how we act. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. So all around the horn. So I think it helps Memphis. Yes. You get rid of Trey Jones, who's a starter on pretty much any team that doesn't have a stud there. But you bring in Marcus Smart, who Memphis has been trying to get for several years, and he's gonna. You're right. He's gonna be a great mentor to Ja Morant, knock some sense into the young kid, and he's gonna be able to play those first 25 games as the starter, and so fill the gap there. But also he's a grit and grind guy. Like he like why isn't Marcus Smart on the Grizzlies? You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of embodies what that team stands
What
for.
Memphis is,
Mm-hmm.
the
And
city.
you know what? Oklahoma State guy. You know who else was an Oklahoma State guy in Memphis for a long time? Not a superstar, but a starter and an impact player. Tony Allen. So cut
Yeah,
from that
good.
cloth.
Wow, good one.
So it definitely helps Memphis. Boston. Malcolm Brogdon is tough, and they tried to move him. They didn't move him. He's still there, and he sixth man of the year. I relate things a lot of times to 2K. He's the same rating as Marcus Smart on 2K. Better shooter, more poised. I guarantee he wouldn't have missed so many threes as Marcus Smart in those playoff games against the Sixers. Even though they pulled out that series, I saw Marcus Smart missing a lot of threes. So yes, he was Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago, but maybe a little past his prime. And they also have a young kid from West Lynn, Oregon, Oregon Duck, four-year starter, and Peyton Pritchard, who's not too bad himself. And you can also just give the ball to your wings. You could have a drone bring the ball up the court and give it to Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, and they'll be set. So add Porzingis to that mix, and even if he only plays half the games, it's deadly. It's another look for them. It
Yeah,
shakes up. They're not.
it's a nice
You kind
look.
of know. Yeah, it mixes it up. Like you've known the Celtics have been the same for so many years. Now they're still kind of the same, but also with this other alternate path of the unicorn out there.
The
So I
original
think it works out for
unicorn.
both. The only unicorn. There's only supposed to be one, right?
Yeah, I think it's a
um,
great look because it allows Robert Williams and Al Horford to be in a position that they can maybe be better at. And now you have tall man Porzingis, who actually can play a little bit of defense. You're seven
mm-hmm,
four, so I don't see why you can't get some rebounds. And
mm-hmm,
now you have Derek White, who actually played a very pivotal role the last 2 years, which I was actually surprised on why San Antonio gave up on him. And San Antonio's probably like, dang, I wish we didn't give up on Derek White because they gave up on him and traded him
Mm-hmm.
for nothing.
Yeah,
And
and he turned out to be the man, and he can also play the point for them.
now you
I
have
want to hear,
Bogdan and him. Yeah.
yeah, and Peyton Pritchard, and your wing players who can play a point if they need to. Um, Now, our boy who we watched play in the Veterans Memorial Coliseum,
Yeah.
hailing from Jesuit High School, Michael Dunleavy Jr.,
Yeah.
is now the general manager of the Golden State Warriors, and he already pulled off a trade, man. So, what's your take? I know you got some takes on this.
I think it's a great trade. I think it does two things for the Golden State because we know Golden State is in the cap. They're at the upper echelon. I'll probably guess the top three, four. They're getting the cap penalties because they're a repeat offender. So therefore, you
Mm-hmm.
add that 100% every time that you're in the cap uh, higher echelon. But you get rid of somebody in Jordan Poole. Now, here's my take on the Jordan Poole saga. You know, you could have done three things, Jordan Poole, and I think you did none of those three. And now you're playing on a Washington Wizards team that you're never going to play meaningful basketball again. Okay. One, you could have fought and went and punched Draymond, which I think you should have did for just on GP on respect, cuz you ain't just gonna come up
Mm-hmm.
here and get this shit posted on TMZ. You over here murking me like you my uncle and shit. All right. So you could have went and punched him back, and maybe you get the locker room back. All right. Second, you take it on the chin. All right. You know, like you got jumped. You know, when you're in the gang, you get jumped, you take it on the chin, you got your stripes. Now you hold yourself a little bit different. All right.
He didn't do that.
He didn't do that. All right. He went over into the corner.
Cried like a bitch.
Show did. Now, here's a story to these young men out here. You could do one of those things. You should have asked your coach what you should have did. Because what did Steve Kerr do back to the GOAT? What's up, cuz? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
We're
mix you too.
men. We're throwing hands.
Okay, ask Steve Kerr. Ask your coach what happened, and he did it to the GOAT. Draymond is not a
Yeah.
GOAT. All right,
Draymond ain't a goat, man.
so I think you should ask your coach. You should have fought back, but now Jordan Poole finds himself as one of those guys who got the bag, got the ring. Now you are gone.
Gone. All right, JD. Now, here's my take. Very similar, parallel hatred on Jordan Poole. First of all, we could go back to whatever episode that was when he missed that three in game one against the Lakers, which set the tone. They ended up losing to the Lakers. And I think you blame Jordan Poole for that because in game one at home, Jordan Poole thinks he's Steph Curry, shoots a 40-footer with 6 seconds left on the clock when you have the best shooter to ever put on a pair of sneakers next to you, and also Klay Thompson over there too. And I think that was the moment where he was trying to – I felt like he was trying to prove himself, like a little brother trying to prove himself to the older brother constantly, and he picked the wrong time to do it, and I think it stuck with him. I heard something. Now, going back to Dunleavy, I heard that when Dunleavy was still a scout or assistant GM or whatever he was prior, he was actually the one that talked to Bob Myers and convinced them to draft this kid from Michigan in a late first-round pick, somewhere mid-20s, a few years ago. So it was Dunleavy's guy that he found and convinced the organization to draft that he then shipped out of town. To me, that makes a fucking great GM because he doesn't get married to these players. Neil O'Shea got married to the players that he drafted, that he brought in from trades, that he signed, and he had a hard-on for them from the Clippers to the Blazers and everywhere in between. So I think Dunleavy's first move, A, it's awesome because Jordan Poole's a punk. He got traded for a 40-year-old point guard.
Come on.
And B, it shows savvy that he's objective. He looks at it objectively and doesn't get tied down subjectively to the people that he's involved with. So
I'm
I love
glad
it.
you brought up that Golden State game because we talked about a particular bet in one of our episodes, and I asked you, do you take the 30 grand or do you keep going? And what did you say, Chris?
Oh, I said put your money on the Warriors, but I didn't know Jordan Poole was on the Warriors at that time. So
So
Jordan
instead
Poole
of
owes me
having
some
30
money.
grand, you have nothing. So I said, hey, give me my money right now. I'm cashing out
And
because
you have your hypothetical 30 grand, man.
I
Congrats.
would. I just wanted to bring that up because you brought it up, and I think
Fair
that
is fair.
that's fair is fair. But I think, like you said, Dunleavy's first move as a GM is lower the cap because now you got a little bit of flexibility. Because guess what? You might be able to trade Chris Paul come trading deadline for some more something. I don't know because I don't know how this fit works. So I've got my
I
always
don't
and
know how
loving.
Chris Paul to me does not fit with any other guard, even a two guard. I don't think he works with any other guard out there. He needs to be the man. He's never been a supporting man. I'd have to go back and look at how he did on the Olympic teams and whatnot, where he was playing with guys who were better than him at the same position. But I just don't see it working out. I think he's going to not play much, and I think it's going to be toxic, and he's gonna want out, but he's not going to say it because he's got no value at this point. I'm sorry, dude is washed.
Yeah.
He doesn't
All
play
right.
fast. He can't play the Warrior style of play. Now let's
I
go to
think
our
he
last.
can. Hold on.
I
I
don't
got a
think he
quick
can.
question. I think he can,
Ah,
but I got a start bench cut for you right now.
hit me.
Dame Lillard. These are at players at their prime. So Dame is still at his prime. Dame
Career high
Lillard,
in scoring last year.
Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Chris Paul. Start bench cut.
Chris Paul, I kill. So I guess that's
So
cut.
so you
And
starting
then
who?
I'm starting. I'm starting Dame because I'm a biased dude, and I'm bringing Steph off the bench because Steph has only come off the bench a couple times in his prime, and when he did, he was nice.
And
Dame, you
who
got to
did he
have
do
him here
that
from the
against?
beginning.
Who did he do
The
that against,
Blazers.
Chris?
He did that against us, bro. He
And what did
came
he
back and
say?
gave us.
I am him.
I'm back. No, he said I'm back. I'm
Yeah,
here.
he did that here in Portland.
Oh
All
yeah,
right,
bro. I was
so
shocked.
on to the next trade. Shout
Yeah, we
out to
got
the
Brad
next
Beal.
GM. James Jones just traded used cars for a Rolls Royce.
He traded Chris
Used
Paul.
cars.
He got rid of Chris Paul for Bradley Beal. Really, right?
Yeah.
What else did? Oh, they gave up Shamit. Shamit's nice.
So he got rid of some used cars for a Rolls Royce.
I mean, I would say Brad Beal is
We can
he's a
call
Rolls
him
Royce. He's a
ish.
Rolls Royce that you bought off of a rental car dealership. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not fresh. It's not brand new. It's got some miles on it. It's got a ding here and there. It's probably got a cigarette burn on the top of the ceiling somewhere. But it's still nice. It's still nice.
And Chris
Brad Beal
Paul is
is nice.
a used Nissan Infiniti.
Not even that. I give him an Altima. He's a Nissan Altima with a bad radiator.
Yeah, shout out to the
And it's
GMs
always
working
breaking
their
down.
magic
It's always breaking down in April, May, and June
when it starts getting warm. So
when the
what do you think
playoffs
of this
come.
trade? It's a straight up trade, Brad Beal for Chris Paul.
I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah,
That's a good deal. That's a
yeah.
good deal. Who's running their point though? Because don't tell me fucking Cameron Payne with the ugliest game, the ugliest jumper in the history of professional or amateur basketball is their point guard.
That guy's not to speak on somebody, but that man is very unattractive. He is an ugly
He's an
person,
ugly dude. He looks like
and
he got hit upside the head by an ugly stick a bunch of
I think the
times.
guy is, regardless of whatever it is, I don't believe in Phoenix Suns this trio. I think this trio is trash. I think Kevin Durant is trash. You got rid of. I think Phoenix would have been better off
Hold on, hold on,
trading
hold
Chris
on, hold on.
Paul. I think that is trash, bro.
Hold on. You just said, excuse me, what'd you just say? You said
KD is
Kevin
trash.
Durant is trash.
Yes. The dude gets hurt in the layup line. Yeah. Throw the tomatoes. The guy got hurt in the
Jokes.
layup line,
Jokes.
Chris. Chris, he got hurt in the layup
So?
line.
He's going hard. Let the guy go hard.
You don't get hurt up in the layup line, cuz. Come on,
I mean,
man. Don't
sometimes
give
you
me
do.
that. The guy is trash, bro. He's done. He's nothing without Steph. Let's be honest. He's nothing without Steph. You go to Brooklyn. Listen, you go to Brooklyn. I want Kyrie. I want James Harden.
You're right.
You left
It
Golden
didn't work
State.
out.
What do you
Hey,
mean? Because Draymond
hey,
looked
have
his
you
ass
ever?
in the eye. Hold up. Draymond looked him in the eye and called him a bitch because he was acting like one. He's either like, Draymond is like this. Hey, you with us or you against us?
He's against them.
And guess what happened? Draymond and then win another chip. So what's that let you
But
know
KD's
about
not
KD?
done. KD's not
Okay,
done,
let's
dog.
make a gentleman's bet. Does KD win another championship? Let's put some money on
Yes.
it. Yes? All right, I
Yes.
got $100. KD does not
I
win
got
another
20. I got
championship.
20.
All right, well,
I
let's
got
take
20.
it. Put it on the board, but KD
Hey,
does not win another chip,
hey, and if he becomes like
especially
assistant
not
coach
in
somewhere and wins
Phoenix.
the chip that way.
What?
Hey, hey, but
Wow.
I really do think KD is really good with another when the other star is a point guard. All right, Westbrook, um, Steph Curry. Right now, he's playing, and he never really got a fair shake in Brooklyn. Let's just say that, okay? I don't think they were healthy enough. They didn't gel. I don't think they had the camaraderie. I'm not making excuses for them. I just think I will never believe in Brooklyn as a good organization or a good franchise to be a part of. I look at them and think, the Hornets or something like that. Like, yeah, they can be cute and fun during the regular season and have some flashy highlights, but like that team's not built. They're not built for this. And so I think it wasn't KD and it wasn't Kyrie. I think it was the ghost of Ben Simmons that got him and maybe the ghost of Jay-Z. Who knows? I don't know about Brooklyn. I just don't think that they're ever going to be legit. So let's give them a fair shake. Let's let them start the season with the Suns, with D-Book, with Brad Beal, which, by the way, is Book going to play the 3?
He's going to be the point.
Book has to play the – Book's going to be the point?
So I
I don't
see,
like that.
because how about this? How about this, though? If you can implicate, Vogel's their coach. So they got a championship coach who's a defensive coach.
I mean, did he win that chip? I mean, LeBron
Yeah,
won that
okay,
chip.
come on, bro. Don't, come on. Let's give some
Coach
respect.
Braun won that.
So you say Ty Lue didn't win a chip with LeBron?
No, LeBron won that, dog.
Nah. Okay,
Everybody
so now
knows
you're saying coaches don't matter. So now you're saying that.
No, I'm
So
saying
now you're saying
coaches,
only MJ and Kobe
coaches that
and Phil
coach.
Jackson didn't do shit. Then, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, coaches of LeBron, Kobe, and Mike, not named Phil Jackson, didn't do shit.
I don't believe.
I'm on the record.
No,
I'm on the record. LeBron's
you know why?
the coach of every team he plays for, especially once he turned 33, 34 years old. He's not listening to any coach, bro.
Listen, let me tell you this.
Once
Darvin Ham coached his
juice than the
ass off.
coach.
Hold on. Darvin Ham coached his ass off this year to get the Lakers to that. That's not LeBron, because LeBron.
How so? How so?
LeBron.
I don't think he did.
There's certain.
You know what?
Ooh,
I think it was.
We don't got
It
enough
was
time
some
in the day to
savvy
get into this.
GM
We're not gonna
back
talk about
office
my
moves
16-time championship
around the
Lakers.
trade deadline that really made the Lakers have a good season. I don't think it had anything to do with coaching.
Now you had to implicate. You
Any
got to put those
outside
players
of
in
LeBron
position
and
to win. You got to put
It
him in
was
the
those
position to win
players
as
they
a
brought
coach.
in. I don't know.
All right. Well, Rob Pelinka did a good job, then shit.
Yes, he did.
Another GM.
There's only two coaches. There's only two coaches I respect: Phil Jackson and Terry Stotts. I'm out.
Okay, respect. Well, I respect Chuck Daly. I respect the maestro of Pat Riley. All right, Pat Riley's
I'll give it
been
to
in this
I'll
shit.
give it to them
All
too.
right,
Hey,
how you
and
gonna disrespect
Adelman,
Eric Spoelstra?
Rick
Eric
Adelman.
Spoelstra?
Okay,
Eric
Spoelstra.
Spoelstra?
We'll
Come
put
on,
Spoelstra on
man.
there. We'll put
Come
Adelman.
on,
We'll
man.
put Spoelstra.
How you not
We'll
gonna
put Chip
respect
Kelly
Spoelstra?
in there.
Chuck Daly, the Don?
We'll put Chuck Daly. But I mean, Red Auerbach. We want to really go back. I'm just saying, current day, right about
we
now.
ain't respecting no
It
Boston
goes
Celtics
Terry Stotts, Monty Williams, Chuck Daly. I'm just talking shit on my ass right now.
So I got a question then. Do you keep DeAndre Ayton? Do you keep DeAndre Ayton, or are you moving him? Here we go. That's what I want to know.
What are you getting back? What are you getting back?
Well, I as a GM, I don't want that motherfucker. So no, I'm not taking him.
I think you keep him to change his reputation, and then you trade him mid-season. I think you give him that first half of the year to be like to make sure everyone forgets about the playoffs, forgets about him being afraid of Jokic and not caring about rebounding, and you spend all summer putting in some Daryl Dawkins into him, putting in some Charles Oakley into him, turn him into a beast, have him play like that on display for a few months, and then you ship him and bring in someone who's going to push you over the edge and really make you a contender.
Did you realize who you just like compared him to? Some dogs, some brothers that put up their hands and really scrap.
That's what I'm saying.
DeAndre Ayton looks like a dude that's going to be like, stop. Okay.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. He needs that. He needs that bad.
So get into guys who like to fight, and the guy that liked to fight a lot in the NBA, nobody ever really talks about it, is MJ. MJ squared up, and MJ sold part of his stake in the Hornets. What do you think that legacy? What is Michael Jordan's legacy as an owner? Because we know what it is as a GM. We don't need to bring that up, Kwame Brown. But what is his owner? Rip Hamilton. What is his legacy as an owner?
Brendan Haywood. Enough to open for.
Wow. Okay.
I think everything.
As owner, Chris.
I think everything from let's see. Everything that Michael Jordan has done while not wearing a Chicago Bulls uniform has been absolute dog shit trash.
Yeah.
That includes his baseball, that includes the Wizards, that includes his gymming, and that includes his clothes. Dude, come on now. I only want a piece of Michael Jordan if he's wearing his Jordans, you know what I'm saying? Like, and performing what we all adore him for.
Absolutely. You know, his legacy is this. He bought it for he put his minority stake of $270 million. Now he got 3.3. So his legacy is that he knows how to make some money. So let's just keep it at that.
Though. Yeah. Pro sports are pro sports. I mean, we're talking about valuations. I think I'll have to fact check real quick, but what Paul Allen bought the Blazers for was something less than $100 million.
50, I bet. From
I think it was 88. For some reason, that number sticks out at me. Let me see.
He bought the team in what year did he buy it? 87? 86?
97. He paid, no, 88.
88. I knew it was in the 80s.
$70 million. Yeah. $70 million. Like, dude's got cars that much right now.
But but when the Blazers get sold, do you think they sell for more than 3.3?
Bees?
Yeah, because the valuation on them I thought was in the twos. Or in the
yeah, probably so. Yeah, it's probably somewhere there. Don't get me wrong.
Wouldn't you think the Blazers are worth more than the Charlotte Hornets?
I would say so, but my point is that Mike getting the bag for selling the team does not mean he's a good investor. I'm saying every team that is purchased,
Donald Sterling,
it's a good investment. You know what I'm saying? So, and it will always be a good investment.
So on the terms of good,
the Blazers should be worth more.
Yeah. So on the terms of good investment, the young man who was the ball boy for the flu game, 1997, after Jordan ate some pizza, he got the shoes because Jordan said he always brought me some applesauce and grapes. He got the shoes. He waited 15, 20 plus years. He sold them for $100,000. So this is the time. What's the old country song? You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em.
Hold 'em.
The Kenny Rogers. Never count your blessings, right? So
Bet.
he sold them for $130,000. The other day, those same shoes sold for $1.3 million, Chris.
You know what I see? I see that ball boy. That ball boy didn't do much besides ball boying because he didn't realize how to market, how to use economic supply and demand, how to get the maximum dollar out of a product, especially when there's only a single product. So the dude's being the ball boy for that series and that season might have been the highlight of his life because he didn't know how to turn a profit. Now, homeboy that sold him for, what was it, 1.3? That's he knew what he was doing. So ball boy sold it to a dude. It's almost like flipping a house, right? So you got like this beater house, I'm going to sell it, but the person that bought it knew how to fix it up, knew exactly how to market it and how to make it attractive for a buyer, and then got maximum dollar. That's what homeboy did, you know? So, I feel bad for the ball boy, being a former ball boy myself. And we look out for each other. It's kind of like a fraternity, a brotherhood, you know?
Yeah.
But,
you know, I got another question though. So what are your favorite shoes you've hooped in? Because, you know, it's hooping season, it's summertime. What was the shoes that Chris Koivisto took out to the blacktop?
Well, you know, I actually put down a list of shoes. When I saw that story, I was thinking like, man, the flu game shoes went for 1.3. I started to think about shoes that I would value personally more than the flu game shoes.
Yeah.
Right? So like it may not have a higher market value for, you know, it wouldn't sell for more, but for me, I value them more. And, you know, the first one I put down, Dame's first game against Kobe, his rookie year. He gave him a nice double-double. He didn't have his signature shoe at the time. I think he was wearing some John Walls, something like that. And after the game, Kobe just went off on how much praise he had for the young kid. And so that game was special, I think. It was the first time he went against Kobe. Gave him a nice game going against Steve Nash, and Kobe gave him props afterwards. Now, the next two I have on the list are Kobe related as well. The first one of those two is his final game, the 60-piece against Utah.
Yeah, the black joints.
Last game,
with the gold in them.
He ever wore.
Everybody got a pair sitting courtside.
Yeah, that's how you do it. And then the next one, I don't even know what number they were. If he was even still with Adidas. No, he was with Nike. But the 81 piece he gave Jalen Rose and the Raptors. Whatever shoes he wore that game.
Huaraches. I think he was wearing Huaraches.
Was he wearing Huaraches? I feel like they were like the Kobe 5s or something.
No. Kobe, no. Yeah, I'm going to look that up as you talk.
Okay. And then I got two more. One, any shoe that Rasheed Wallace wore in a game where he got ejected. You know what I'm saying? He wore the Air Forces. He had his little logo. I actually have a pair of all white, all patent leather Air Force highs with the strap with the Rasheed Wallace logo. Those are actually my snowshoes because they stay clean and they're like water repellent because they got the patent leather. So the Sheed shoe for sure. And
he's wearing the Kobe ones.
Oh, the Kobe ones. Wait,
yeah,
from Adidas.
No, Nike. He's got the heel. They're white. with purple.
They don't have Kobe. They didn't have Kobe ones with Nike, did he? Because he already had the ones and the twos
They're
with Adidas. So
Hirachis.
then they go straight to 3. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. But JD, I want to hear your take after this last one, and that is any shoe that PJ Tucker wears. Man, that dude is the best
It's a
sneakerhead
grail.
in the
Every
NBA.
shoe he wears is a grail.
Every time. It just, he used to hoop in the Yeezys a lot, which I respect because those are not really hoop shoes, even though he would just sit in the corner and shoot threes anyway. But then if we're talking shoes to hoop in, shoes to wear around, I got a couple I wrote down. The penny ones. I really like the penny ones. The penny, they're hard to get too right now. If you're looking for resale on eBay or Go, I've been having a hard time tracking those down at an affordable price. I got the penny twos, not the penny ones. Any AJ one, I've lost count of how many different colorways I have of those. They're the most comfortable shoes. They broke the barrier. I think you got 2 of them behind you right there, unless those are dunks.
Those are dunks today, Chris.
They call them dunks. You know what I'm saying? The patent leather 11s, obviously. We could go Concord. We could go Space Jam. We could go Snakeskin, any one of those. But I like the lows. I've had a few lows. I like the 11 lows because you can wear them real loose, slip into them, and they really kind of hug your feet still. And then the last 2 I have on the list of shoes I like to wear, the Crazy 8s. You know, it's the OG Kobe. They should be called the Kobe ones, not the Crazy 8s. And then I like the foam posits, man. The foam posits really set us apart. And I was actually blessed enough to work with a guy at the Blazers who went on to work for Nike, and he hooked me up with the Kanye colorway of the foams. Half size too small, so I got to have my toenails cut real short when I wear them. Otherwise, we're having some issues.
It hurts. You get some back issues.
But they got the black, they got the red, and then they got the glow in the dark bottoms. So those would be my favorite shoes to wear, man. And I want to hear about your favorite shoes to hoop in, wear, and then other shoes that you may value more than the flu game shoes as a person.
I think the number one shoe for me of value is the double nickel MSG.
Ooh, which Jordans were those though?
The Jordan 1s.
You wore the
That's
AJ
why.
ones?
Yes. I think that those are just classic. I have a pair right here. You know what I mean? So those shoes right there mean a lot because those are the first joints. You know what I mean? That's your first kiss, your first love. Like the first time, you put on a pair. And that's what makes our friendship so great is because our friendship started at a summer camp like this, talking tennis shoes, Pistol Pete videos, and that's what makes this show great is because you're going to get anything and everything from us. And we're shoe collectors. I love shoes. It's part of the culture. We talked about other shoes that we love. The Jordan 3s are a favorite for me.
The 3s. Hey, JD, I didn't know whether to call you out in the post edit or in real time.
Let's do it real time.
Mike was wearing the Jordan 10s in the double nickel game.
No,
the 10s.
Okay, so then maybe it's his last game at MSG in the Last Dance.
Okay. Yeah, because it was rare to see him wear them outside of his rookie year. So
in the Last Dance,
it was dope.
The last game that he played at MSG, he wore those. So I guess it is not the double nickel game, but in the Last Dance, which I watch on,
he wore the bands.
He wore exactly
the bands.
Yeah, that's what I have right there, bro. And my other favorite shoe, I don't think you can go wrong with the Concords, Chris.
Yeah.
When he brought those back against
mids or lows.
I got both. I like the lows. The lows is like you said, a slip on, boom, in and out.
Yeah.
They still sleek, and you're still wearing some J's.
Yep.
But my favorite Jordan, exactly. But my favorite Jordan to me that means a lot to me because I had it at such a young, personable age is the Jordan 5 Grapes, and those are probably my favorite.
Okay.
The Jordan 5 because we're in kindergarten, first grade, And we got those. I got them. And I was like, oh, my mom's like, I remember going to Foot Locker, getting those. And I remember my dad being like, son, these are too small for your feet. Having to damn near take these shoes away from me because like, it's the first pair of Jordans as a kid that I remember being like, I don't care. I got some J's on.
Bet.
You know what I mean?
You're getting your Lonzo Ball on, man. I think
you know,
that dude
like
in those once in a while.
And that's what I'm, more than anything, sneakers, those right there. And another lounge classic for me that I wear around the city are my Silver Bullets. I love some 96 Air Maxes, Silver Bullets, because they're so iconic.
97, but no one's counting.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If we're talking lounging around, yeah, I'm with you on that. You got to have some Air Maxes that you just throw on that you feel good in. I recently got some Air Forces that it's like a hybrid where they have that mesh top to them. You know what I'm saying? It's the not the hyper fit. What do they call it? Anyway, you got to have some good lounging around shoes. Yeah, you got to have the lounging around shoes. You got to have a Flyknit. Flyknit is
Flyknit. Yeah, the Air Force shoes, Ones. Yeah, those are light and comfortable.
Yeah, bro.
I just looked it up. Hold on, real quick. I looked it up. The Kobe one is what he scored 81 in.
Okay. They're kind of like the mid. They look like Huarache's mids, right? They don't look like anything special.
Yeah.
And I want to add a late submission too. Like the most comfortable I feel that my body feels playing basketball has always been in a Kobe 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that range. They're all about the same. They're all the lows, and they come in dope colorways. I stumbled across the Oregon Ducks PE colorway at like the Seaside, Oregon outlet mall 10 years ago or something, and I still wear those things to this day. But those things really work. And if you want to take it a step further, they got these insoles now that Dame sponsors.
Good Health, or what is it called?
I think it's called like Soul or something.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Well, Good Soul or Good Foot or something like not Good Foot.
And but they're I didn't
nice. I got a pair.
The one shoe that I liked hooping in, I forgot to put this in, but the shoe that I liked to play basketball in was the Jordan 17. I think those were my favorite. That's the first $200 Jordan. Came with the briefcase. Had the cover over the foot over the top part of your foot.
Oh,
I never wore that, but I had those, and man, let me tell you, I only had 8 months with them because I played so much basketball in them that they slit too much. And you want still a fresh pair of shoe that when you plant, you still got some traction. And I remember slipping at a gym one time, and that was it. I slipped on my butt, and I ended up wearing those.
Who crossed you over?
Chris, I can't remember. You know what I mean? We got to check the tape. But I ended up wearing those for football, came February. So I had them in February. By September, October, I was wearing them for football because I wore the midsole of them. But playing on turf, was nothing. It's a Jordan 17. Mike Vick wore them too.
Hey, some might say that they spent too much of their budget on the packaging of the briefcase and not making sure the tread lasts. But hey, who am I? JD, I'm going to give you the next 60 seconds to flip the switch to some Euro trash. We'll do one good Euro minute with JD.
One girl minute.
I'm going to listen in. I'm going to go refill my drink, but I'm still listening, my guy. You have the floor. 60 seconds. Go.
Well, Messi is going to make his MLS debut July 21st, and the ticket prices to Messi games have tripled in price, and I'm excited to see him. You got F1. Max Verstappen is still in first place. They got the week off this week, and man, MLS, Timbers lost their last game. Seattle, they're playing better. So, Let's keep it moving, Chris.
JD, man, I appreciate it. You kept our Euro segment to less than a minute, and I appreciate that, even though I'm representing European basketball.
Come on, man, Mr. Euro himself.
Hey,
Quite
man,
Visto.
America, baby. But hey, JD, the school year is let out for the youngsters. They're all over the place. Can't go anywhere in the city without seeing some high school, middle school, elementary school kids running around. And my question is, why are they not in camp right now working on their game? That's what they need. That's what summers are for, is to get better at the sport that you've dedicated yourself to. I don't think these kids have the dedication, but I know that we did back in the day. Me and you going to the Multnomah Bible College basketball camp, where we really kicked off our friendship. Shoot, 20 years ago?
25.
23 years ago?
25
years ago? We're old, man. We're some old.
Yeah, 25 years, bro. And
hey,
shout out to our coach, though.
We had some.
Shout out to Coach Henry, man.
HB.
We'll have to upload the picture, Chris, on here of us at camp with our friends Sammy Jansen, Justin Tucker, dudes who we are still close with. And just seeing our coach that's in that picture. You and Sammy, your arms are around them. And it's just a great time where, being able to be asked to go to this camp right here, the 5-star basketball camp, Howard Garfinkel, just all the legends that went to this camp. It was it's classic. It's nostalgic. They've done a 30 for 30 on this basketball camp. On the radio side, they did one on Howard Garfinkel, Coach K, how coaching and all that started with the recruiting at this camp because coaches were getting paid to come here. And that's where everything changed when we got the sneakerheads, and the 5-star camp, but the Multnomah Bible College camp, being able to go to Anthony Newman sports camps, you used to go to the Larry Steele, right?
I hit one of those. I went to the Larry Steele. I hit I hit an Anthony Newman camp in my football days, bro.
You went to the Larry Steele, which is still a Portland local legend, though.
Do they still do it?
Yeah.
Do they still do his camp?
Yeah.
We should go coach.
And
I also coached at that camp.
Didn't June Bug? Didn't he coach at the Larry?
Yeah.
Come on,
bro. I think I got kicked out of that camp as a coach because the last night they have the coaches play a game against the kids. Ooh. And I was really feeling myself, and me and June were going a little too hard. And, that was kind of in the wild out days. But, yeah, I went to the Larry Steele camp. The Damon Stoudemire camp was dope.
Oh, hold up. Let's go to that real quick. Remember we went to the camp, and Brandon Brooks was there.
B. Brooks,
and we got drafted on the team, and Damon Stoudemire. B. Brooks was probably like a sophomore in high school when we went to that Damon Stoudemire camp at Lentz Boys and Girls Club.
Hey, fresh off his 60-piece as a freshman at Grant.
Though. Yeah.
B. Brooks, local legend. Never made it. Went to Arizona State. Knee issues.
USC.
Wasn't really a good player to begin with. I thought it was Arizona State. Hey, okay. Transition pop quiz. Who was your favorite OSAA player to watch other than yourself or other than me?
Wow.
I already got
Hey, okay. All right. This sounds crazy, but bro, watching Vic Rimmers play from Jesuit.
Oh, Jesse. Yeah.
Because I went to
he looked like a little bit of marketing.
Yeah.
He looked like he was marketing.
You know why, Chris? Because he was 6'7", 6'8". But watching him compete against that Jeff team and against the Les Schwab,
all the brothers,
and then watching him put some work in, because I went to a lot of the games, and you're like,
and there's two ways to go about it. Speaking from experience as a white male, you can and being in the suburbs, having to play an inner city team where there's not a white player on the team, there's literally two different people. One, they're scared. They hide. We've seen these guys on TV. We're scared of them. They're more athletic than us. They're
you
loud.
said it. You said it.
They're dunking on us. They're scared. Or, fuck that. This is basketball. We're both human beings. I don't see skin color. Let's go.
Get buckets.
Let's go. That's why I love going to SEI. That's why I love, playing against Chris Rogers and Salim Stoudemire and dudes like that growing up, because that is the best competition you're going to get. Thomas Gardner, Aaron Miles, Mike Lee, a few years older than us, but I would go to the SEI just to see those guys in action and see how they played. And it was different. It builds you differently. It puts you together differently when you can come from a suburb of a predominantly white community, go to the inner city, hold your own, and then go back and play your season with that same suburban team. You carry yourself differently. You have a different,
and that's what Vic Rimmers was, bro. He was a
yep.
He had a solid career at Oregon State. Got a little bit.
Is that where he went?
He got a little bit of PT there, but just watching him compete against the black teams is just a guy where I was like, you know what? I respect that. Just on GP, and he was a solid shooter. I mean, he wearing them Jordan 15s. I remember the dude could get a bucket, Chris.
All right, so I got one, and then you reminded me of a story talking about the Les Schwab. So the one I got, the dude that I like to watch, and he was only 2 years older than me, and I played against him. I got a little bit of burn in a blowout varsity game when I was a sophomore, and that is Salim Stoudemire.
That's the GOAT.
The dude was the best high school player I've ever seen in person, and in relative context, like we went to Les Schwab, we saw Carmelo, we saw Tyson Chandler, we saw the dude that went to Seton Hall. Like we saw these other dudes, but I'm saying,
we saw Eddie Griffin
in a OSA.
Yeah,
gym.
Casey's.
Yeah, Eddie Griffin, Andre Barrett.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, Andre Rice. Come on, man. Those are some real college basketball legends.
But the very first time I saw Salim play, he was a sophomore and I was an 8th grader, and I went to the varsity game to watch him. And there was just this buzz in the arena. You could just tell it was different. And it wasn't because it was Lake O versus Clack. It wasn't a rivalry game. It was because you had this, not just
a summer league,
not just the cousin of the starting point guard for the Blazers at the time, but a really fucking good player in and of himself. Yeah. And the way that he would handle himself coming down the court, he just had this flow. He'd pull up from 40 like it was nothing. Pull up from 5 like it was nothing. Like everywhere in between. And even his misses look good. Like I would love to see him miss shots all day. And then to see him go to Arizona and lead the entire nation in 3-point percentage was like, of course. I wish he would have done better in the league. Undersized 2-guard, little Eddie House in him. So I see that. But the story that you reminded me of with the Les Schwab Invitational, we went to the games when they were at Lewis and Clark, right?
Oh, I went to a lot of games. That's
before it went to the Coliseum.
Yeah, that's the year when they had Crenshaw come, Oak Hill came.
Yeah.
That's where Jeff played.
So the championship. Yep. So there was a championship game between Jeff and Jesuit.
And that's
right?
the game for Vic Rimmers.
Well, there was a point guard, a little white boy lefty, Hutch. What was his first name? He ended up going to Western, and he played at Western.
Was he on Lake O's
We
team?
hung out together. No, he was on Jesuit.
Okay.
And he was in that championship game. He went to Western. We drank beers and, hung out together. He told us all these stories, right? But the one that sticks out to me is he was at the free throw line with a chance to kind of put Jeff away, put Jesuit, ahead, whatever. And that was the game when you had Bonzi Wells, Jermaine O'Neal, Damon Stoudemire, and one other, like Quintel Woods, all sitting courtside at Lewis and Clark.
I don't think Quintel was on the team.
And he said, it doesn't matter, right? You had NBA players there.
All of them.
Booing. They were all booing my guy Hutch to miss these free throws. And he's saying, he tells us 5-10 years later, like I'm sitting there, the biggest Blazer fan in the world, and they're booing me to miss shots against Jeff. And of course I missed them. I mean, like that's the sauce right there.
He graduated in 01, right?
Something like that. I think he was 2 years older than us.
You know what? I'm gonna look this up. I have the Les Schwab book.
Look it up. Look up Hutch.
From that year when Jeff won it, beating Jesuit.
Little lefty.
And
yep,
Southern
lefty.
Lab was
and
there.
And Vic Rimmers was going off.
And Southern Lab was there with Marcus Spears from ESPN, Casey Sanders from Tampa Prep.
The kind of the story behind the story there.
The long Redondo Beach young guy. DeJounte. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
Redondo Beach, yeah.
Light skinned guy.
Yep. Yeah. So that was 99, 2000-ish. I don't know who. I think it was Jefferson and Brandon Brooks who was wearing a headband at that game. Yep. No one wore headbands back then. Hadn't worn them since Slick Watts in the 70s. The next week, Bonzi Wells, Damon Stout, they all start wearing headbands.
Yeah, they said that.
Then the whole NBA starts wearing headbands. And then it's a thing that started an OSA basketball, and I will take that. I will die on.
I've heard that
they watched a high school game in Portland, and we're like, oh, these kids got flair, they got flash, they got style. They're wearing a headband. I'm gonna wear a headband. And then boom, now every day everybody wears a headband nowadays. But like the fact that it started there in that little known story is, I like stuff like that, you know.
You know, Chris, it's always an honor and a treat, and it's a treat when players meet, though, bro. Like this right here is what we need. We ran a little long today because we had to get us some nostalgic, you know, and that's what I love about this.
We're going riff.
Oh,
we're going to go down.
We haven't had one of these yet. We haven't went down a couple rabbit holes, you know, like it.
No.
And I think this episode is where we let people know, like, no, we love this game. We know some of these legends here in Portland. We can talk about it.
Hey. Don't forget. Yeah, we were there. We were in the mix. We were at camps. We were at games. We were trying to network and socialize before that was a thing.
You know, and that's why this friendship, Chris, again, man, bro, everlasting. You know what I mean? Because we've been doing this since we were young kids, and it's always, you know, there's not a bad day at a sports camp. You're having fun. You're getting better.
Never. That's why I sent my son to 3 camps this summer. Let's go.
Come on. Shout out. Dad of the year, man. Do you have a good Father's Day?
Oh, yeah, man. It was great. We did all the things, man. We went. That's right. We haven't spoke since then. We went to, I woke up and Presley had already made a reservation for us at this restaurant. Yeah, my mom may have helped her with that, but regardless, she had my favorite movie ready to hit play as soon as I woke up. That's Training Day. Best movie ever made. I will argue that to my death. You know, then we went on a little hike, flew the drone. We went and watched Spider-Man. I mean, it was great. It was a full day, action packed, but all things that I enjoyed doing. What about yourself, my guy?
Man, low key, I went and saw my grandfather down there, met him at the Elks.
Ooh.
You know, met him and my sister and my grandma at the Elks. We had some barbecue, and then we went over to my dad's house for some more barbecue and kept it 100, you know. And was home by 8 and went to work the next day. So it was a solid Father's Day. I can't be, you know,
that's what's
up. You know, like that's what I wanted to do. I got to see my grandpa. I got to see my dad.
There you go.
All right.
There you go, man.
My daughter made homemade cookies from
life's
scratch.
About.
And Chris, I mean, them things.
Were they bomb?
She made. They're so fire.
They were hitting.
And everybody wants her cookies, Chris. Like my grandpa is happy. My dad be like, "Hey, tell Kai she need to make some more of those cookies, man." So, you know,
she need to make some money. We're gonna
figure out how to monetize Kai's treats. You feel me?
Do you know what I'm saying?
She put a little crushed salt on them, Chris. If you like that, hey, whoo.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Ooh-wee.
Well, we got a lot in store
recipe,
for the guests coming up. You know, we're figuring out. We got some irons in the fire to get some real reputable people on the show, though, right, Chris?
Hey, man, we may be nobodies, but we know some people who aren't nobodies.
Yeah,
and we may have to call them up and just bring them into the conversation because, like I've been saying, JD hasn't been saying, I'm not trying to get famous doing this. I'm just trying to talk to my guy and live some nostalgia and talk trash about GMs and coaches and players. And,
respectfully.
And so let's bring it in. Let's bring it in, man. I appreciate you, my guy. Let's do the send off.
Well, Chris, I will see you next time, and God bless you. Have a good one.